Hello everyone, I greet you in the name of God Almighty. My name is Trinity Silas, and today we have a very interesting video to react to. And then this video was done by Robert Spencer, and then he says that it brilliantly explained moderate Islam. I believe that this is going to be a very interesting video. When we listen to him, of course, we are going to hear some of the things he will say concerning Islam. So if today happens to be the first time of you checking out my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section and I'm going to check it out. So guys, before we get on to the video, I'm a theologian and I make this video not to discredit anyone's religion. This is basically for educational purposes, and I believe that at the end of this video we all are going to learn from this. So guys, without any further ado, let's get down to this video and check this out.
Much, Bruce. Robert?
Well, I hate to bring bad news, but that's really all I do, actually. The fact is, people have been asking me yesterday and today, as well as at pretty much everywhere else that I speak, what can we do to encourage the moderates? And I've got to tell you that there are moderate Muslims, but there is no moderate Islam. That is an unpleasant fact, but it is a fact, and I'll explain. Now, moderate Muslims, people usually assume that that means Muslims who believe different things from the jihadis, that they don't believe that it is part of their religious responsibility to wage war against unbelievers. They don't believe that they should hate Jews and kill them. They don't believe that they should subjugate women and non-Muslims as inferiors in the society under an institutionalized system of discrimination and harassment. There is actually no such Islam. People talk in the West and they take advantage of our ignorance about Islam to mislead people into complacency. I'll give you an example. There is a 512-page fatwa against terrorism by a Pakistani Islamic theologian named Muhammad Tahir al-Qadri. And about 5 or 10 times a day, Muslims write to me and they say, "You say Islam is not a religion of peace. You should read Tahir al-Qadri." So I did. And luckily, you know, it's the wonders of the internet age, I was able to get a PDF and search it. And so what I did was I searched it for the Quran passages that exhort Muslims to commit violence and wage war against unbelievers. Because if he's really going to be presenting an alternative form of Islam, then it would be just commonsensical, would it not, for him to take up those passages and explain why Muslims should not take them as marching orders today. And I searched for chapter 9, verse 5, slay them wherever you find them. Chapter 4, verse 89, slay them wherever you find them. Chapter 2, verse 191, slay them wherever you find them. Chapter 9, verse 29, fight against the Jews and the Christians until they're subjugated and pay the tax. Chapter 47, verse 4, when you meet the unbelievers, strike at their necks, behead them. And others of that kind. 512 pages, he never mentioned any of those verses. Now, do you understand the implications of that? This is supposed to be a piece saying that terrorism is wrong and Muslims should not engage in it, and he never addressed any of the justifications that the jihad terrorists use to show that what they're doing is Islamically correct. That's not a reform kind of Islam. That's not a moderate Islam. That's a big, extensive, elaborate effort to deceive unbelievers and make us ignorant and complacent about the jihad threat. You cannot reform something, you cannot fix a problem without acknowledging that there's a problem, you see. And there is no moderate Islam. There is no version of Islam that does not teach warfare against unbelievers and their subjugation. It's just like this. This does not mean, as Raymond and Bruce were saying, that all Muslims are doing this or all Muslims are even on board with this. But it's just like in the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church teaches, as part of its official teaching from the Pope and so on, contraception is wrong, contraception is immoral, don't contracept. Survey after survey shows that 70, 80, 90% of Catholics use contraception. Now, we would be absolutely wrong, incorrect, to say that, oh, that means that the church doesn't really teach that contraception is wrong. It really does. It's just that most Catholics don't pay attention. Islam really teaches warfare against unbelievers. A lot of Muslims don't pay attention. That's just great. The problem is they have no theological leg to stand on in Islam, and therefore when they're challenged by the jihadis, and even when their children are recruited by the jihadis, they don't have any answer. The thing is, people have a lot of influences in their lives. Many of you have a religion, but you also have other perspectives, other priorities, other beliefs, and all of these things are complicated in everybody's heart and soul and mind. So that you have a spectrum of belief, knowledge, and fervor. Some people are very knowledgeable and very devout, whatever their religion may be, and some people bear the name of the religion, but they couldn't care less, or they don't know, or they're just more interested in something else. That's what moderate Muslims really are. They are people who just want to live their lives. If you talk about Muslims who are aware that the Quran and the example of Muhammad and Islamic law all teach warfare and conquest and subjugation of unbelievers, and who reject that, and who say that must not be done, you're talking about maybe 5 or 10 people. I mean worldwide, out of 1.6 billion. Zuhdi Jasser and his friends. If you want to talk about actual Muslim reformers, it is exactly that way. But if you want to talk about Muslims who just aren't going to take up arms against us at any time, well, that's millions upon millions of people. The problem is, when the chips are down, where will they side? They will side with the Muslims who are waging war. That is where their allegiance is. They probably won't do anything. But to base our foreign policy and our domestic policy, our immigration policy, to base the future of our nation, to base our children's lives on the idea that the vast majority of Muslims don't want to do this, don't care about jihad and conquest and subjugation, and that somehow some large group of Muslims who are moderates are going to rise up and fight against the jihadis and stop them, that is not only foolish, that is suicidal.
Wow. That's a very
Thank you so
interesting one.
much.
Of course, I'm listening to Spencer explaining, you understand, some certain things or verses or whatever in the Quran that was talking about or encouraging, you understand, some Muslim on jihad, of course, concerning unbelievers and all that. The truth about it is, well, we can't say that, you understand, that is not, you understand, in the Quran. Of course, it is, you understand, in the Quran. And the truth about it is, these kind of verses are also in the Bible. But that does not mean that because it is there, then it means that we should pick up arms and then go and kill the unbelievers or people that we are not of same faith, you understand, with them. If we are to do the same thing, then we are doing same as those that we are trying to condemn them of not, you understand, doing them. And then that is the reason why you see Christians, you understand, don't do them. All right, we choose not to do them does not mean that it is not, you understand, in the Bible. But then it's just that we have a different concept in which, you understand, we handle things, you understand, like this. So if I am to talk about, you understand, things like that, and it will make some people, you understand, faith, you understand, then it's better for me not to do so. And that's why when you look at the Islamic scholar that decide, you understand, not to talk about the jihad and all that, it's not that because he's not aware of the jihad, but he just feels like, of course, we are just, you understand, on a different, you understand, dispensation, which differs from what that was happening in the time of the prophet, right? That we are encouraging them, you understand, maybe probably to do that, right? And that's when you look at, you understand, in some of the verses that could be in the Bible, of course, God may be speaking to the people during their dispensation, and maybe probably that was a solution that maybe probably they need as of that time. But the truth about it is, at this point in time, a lot of people that have been converted to Islam, the truth is, it wasn't that because of they pick up sword or because they do anything that makes them to convert. No, it's not like that. You could look at it, understand, across the world. You could look at, understand, the growth of Islam in Europe, in Asia, and some of the respective continents, Africa and the rest, right? You bear with me that it's not basically because of sword, but it's about, understand, looking at them, their way of life, how they do things. it is what, and their hospitality. Those are some of the reasons why people, you understand, are actually converted to Islam, and not necessarily about anybody waging war. As a matter of fact, you look at it, you understand, in the recent years, do you see that, you understand, that in Australia, for instance, have you heard that maybe probably Muslim wage a war with them that makes the Australian, you understand, to convert to Islam? Ask yourself that very question. There are a lot of, you understand, countries that these people, you understand, went to doing their businesses, and you look at them, how they conduct themselves, how they respect their religion, how they obey some of the things that is being said, you understand, in the Quran, and people begin to convert to Islam, and not necessarily about, you understand, jihad and all those things. That's why I says that for all some of those things, it's not that because of they are not in the Bible, but because of we have our own standard. We just felt like whatever that has happened as of that time. For instance, it could be like maybe probably because you have a woman, for instance, on the day of her wedding, if they find out that like she's not a virgin, if you have to look at it by a Bible standard, then she's supposed to be stoned or be killed, right? But do we kill? No, we don't. Why? Because Christ has paid all for us. Why do we have to be doing that? That is why, in a sense, there is a standard. Christ has set a standard for us, so we don't have to do that. So I feels like what Spencer is saying is wrong, and whatever he's saying does not represent, in a sense, Christianity. Neither does it, in a sense, represent any principle of Christianity. Whatever, in a sense, was saying was just his personal, in a sense, opinion, and does not, in a sense, represent Christianity. And Christianity don't see it, in a sense, in that manner, or in the way in which, in a sense, Spencer see it. But then I know that a lot of you have an opinion concerning some of the things, in a sense, he was pointed out at the video, and I wanted to drop it at the comment section. Let's all deliberate with one another. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, you should like, share, and subscribe. If you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section, and I'm going to check it out. So guys, you remain blessed, and I see you in my next video. Bye bye.